Mathematics, Ordinary Level, Paper 1, 2023, Part 5. Let's start with question number 28. 4 lines are shown on the grid. Okay, and they give you the lines. And they give you even the equations of the lines. Which of the letters A to E lie in the region where Y, and then they start giving you the inequalities. Okay, so this is linear programming. Where will you find it in my textbooks? You will find it in Part 1, Chapter 7, Linear Programming, Example 23, and that you will find on page 323. Now let's start with the first question. 4 lines. So which of the letters? So the first will be to block out all this. So let's just do that. Okay, let's start with the first one. Y is smaller and equal to 2. Okay, so where is Y? This is this one, referring to this one. Now, smaller will be referring to this side. But what I will do, I take a ruler and I'm just blocking out all that area. Just want to redo that one. Okay. Then the next one. X plus Y is smaller and equal to 10. So where is X plus Y? It's this one. So smaller and equal, it's again the bottom, but I block out the top. So I'm just blocking out this. All of them. Okay. And then Y is smaller than X. So X, this is referring to this middle line. So smaller, it's on this side. And again, I'm blocking out this side. Okay, and now I look. What region is not shaded? Did you see? If I look here, I will see, oh, this is going to be in D. Do you see the letter? Can I just make it round? It's going to be here. Okay, so what letter is it going to represent? D. So just do your blockings out and then always shade the unwanted region and leave the wanted region unshaded. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Okay, let's start with number B. Find the minimum value of X plus Y in the region A. Okay, so in the region A, so do you see it's here? Here is A. So I take the corners. It's always where you will find the extreme, the maximum or the minimum. So let's just write down that. So in A, it will be 2 and 2. And it will be 5 because there's 5. And it will be 5. And it will be 8 and 2. But it's the minimum. So if I start adding up, I can say 2 plus 2 is 4, that's 10, and that's 10. So the minimum value will be X plus Y, which is 2 plus 2, and that will be equal to 4, because they want you to add that up. Let's go to the examination report. Okay, so if I look at the examination report, so this is question number 28, so it's on the next page. It's moderately answered. Many that simply listed the regions and could not identify the region, required region. Okay, so it was in D, and it was moderately answered in B. Candidates do not realize that they need to work out the vertices in the regions. There is the extreme values. A and then arrive at the required minimum value. Teachers are encouraged to explain optimization using simple linear concepts. I can just maybe go back. So before I go to the next question, I just want to show you this minimum and maximum values where you will find it in the textbook. It's still chapter 7, but you can look there on page 325 and you can look at example 24 in the part 1 mathematics y equals mx plus c mathematics textbook. Let's go to the next one. Okay, question number 29. Just want to make it a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller again. Okay. Now, by just looking at it, I can already see, oh, this is matrices. So where will I find matrices in the textbook? I will find this in the part 2. So let's just write. So it's in the part 2 and it's in matrices. And it is chapter 11. Okay, that's where I will find it. And this can also be, the first one is just multiply a matrix by a scalar. And that will be on page 561. And that will be example 7. Okay, so let's just do that multiplication. So it's just going to be 4. And I substitute 0. I just want to go rather to blue. My blue pen. Okay, so it's 4. And it's 0, 3, negative 3, 0. And if I multiply that, it's going to be 0. And it's going to be 12. Don't forget your brackets. It's going to be negative 12. So I just multiply every one with it. And it's going to be 0. So it's going to be 0, negative 12, 12, and 0. And they help you by putting the brackets. And then it's subtraction, which is also easy. First, just substitute the 2. So if I substitute the 2, I'm just going to say W. So it's going to be 0, 3, negative 3, 0, and x, and it's going to be 1, 0, negative 2, 2. And then it's going to be 0 minus 1, which is going to be negative 1. I'm going to rewrite it already here. So 3 minus 0 is going to be 3. And then negative 3, okay, just be careful because that you don't make a mistake. So it's negative times a negative is positive. So it's going to be negative 1. And then 0 minus 2, and that's negative 2. Okay, so be careful. Sometimes you can, but if you have, it spare a little bit time if you don't have to rewrite it again. And now the difficult one is the multiplication. So for this one, you could have checked on page 559, example 5. And then for the multiplication, this last one is going to be page 562 plus page 563, and it's example 8. Okay, but let's do it. Let's write down x. So let's start with x. So it's going to be 1, 0, negative 2, and 2. And then it's going to be 14 and 5. And remember, it can only multiply if the middle numbers are the same. So this is going to be a 2 by 2. 2 rows, 2 columns. And this is going to be 2 rows and 1 column. And if that middle numbers are the same, you can multiply them. Okay, now how do I multiply them? Now remember, it's a bit constant because it's like this one with this one, and I add. So it's 1 times 14. So 1 times 14. Okay, remember that. Plus, and then move negative 2 times 5. Negative 2 times 5. And then 0 times 14 plus 2 times 5. And now you can just simplify that. Okay, so basically you are going to get, if I want to, yeah, I can actually go on here. But this is going to be 14, do you see, minus 10. And that's just going to be 4. And this is going to be 0 plus 10, and that's going to be 10. Okay, so you basically just simplify. But let's go to the exam report. Let's see if we can find that. Okay, if it's still on this page. 26, we are now already at 29. So let's see if we're next page. Yes, we're going to find it here. Okay, so well answers. Over most candidates omitted the negative sign. So they forgot about the negative 12. And then the next one, it was just 1 mark still. Very well answered. However, some candidates struggle with addition, subtraction of the negative integers. I think it would have been this position. Okay, but just check there. And then the last one, moderately answered, common wrong answer was 14. And 16, candidates did not realize that the result matrix should be a 2 by 1, and some candidates gave their answer as a fraction. Don't make a fraction. So it's 4 and it's 10. And they gave 1 for the top number and 1 for the bottom number. Okay, let's go back. I just want to show you. So for this one, they gave you 1 for that one, and this was just everything correct on that one. Okay, let's do the next one. I just want to move it a little bit. Okay. And first we will go to the textbook and see where we will find, and if you struggle, you can first do revision and then try it and then continue with the video. So write down the order of rotational symmetry. Where will we find it in the textbook? We will find it in the part 1, chapter 8, rotational symmetry, and that's on page 398. And look at example 33, because this is not just a circle, it's shaded, and that makes a circle is infinity. But in this case, what you can do is you can take a piece of paper and then cover, and then you start and put the pencil there and start rotating it from north clockwise until it reaches north again. And then you see how many times the paper fits on the original one. And you can actually see it's going to be 2 times. So you're going to say, write down the order. So it's rotational symmetry, order 2. I just want to take a blue. So order 2. Okay, so let's just go and see what they say about in the report. Let's just go up, and this was example 30. The question was poorly answered. Common answered was 4 to 2 lines of symmetry and infinity. Some candidates wrote 2 by 2 in their answer. Teachers are encouraged to clear between order of rotational symmetry, how many times a shape is rotated and still looks the same. Okay, so when the one you copied fit on the original one, and lines of symmetry when teachers this concept, but the answer was 2. The order of rotational symmetry was just 2. Okay, and now we go to the question paper again. Okay, so we are finished with that one. Now we're going to do the last one in this video, so let's just go. Okay. So basically, if we start reading it first, the diagram shows 2 containers which are mathematically similar. The smaller container has a capacity of 1.25 liters and the height is 15.5. The larger container has a capacity of 10 liters. Calculate the height of the larger container. So this is similar figures. Okay, so let's just see where we will find it first in the textbook. We will find it in the textbook, still in part 1. Can you see? That's why it's thicker. It's chapter 8. And it's volumes of similar figures. and its volumes. Okay, because it can hold, it's three-dimensional. And you will find it on page 356 plus page 358, and you can look at example 10 to help you. Okay, but let's start with first step. If it's simple, it's k to the power 1. If it's just ordinaries, if it's two dimension, it's k square. If it's area, and if it's volume, it's k to the power of 3. So I will say the volume of the small over the volume of the big. Okay, and now this is my value of k. So the small one, just make sure that you put the small one on top, and you can make it h. That's good. It's fine. You can keep it h. And then don't forget, because it's volume, it's to the power of 3. Okay. Now I can fill in this one, 1,25. And so I could have first say small over big to the power of 3. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to say, because, and then fill it in here. Just keep it general first. So say small side over big side to the power of 3. So it's over 10. And the small side is 15.5, and that is h. And that is to the power of 3. So it's 1.25 over 10. And I'm going to say 15 to the power of 5, 3 over h3. Now I can cross multiply. So it's 1.25 h3 equals 10 times 15.5 to the power of 3. Okay, so basically I can just divide by 1.25, and I divide by 1.25. And if I press that on the calculator, my 10 times 15.5 to the power 3 equals, divide 1.25 equals. So I'm getting that h3 equals 29791. And now I take the cube root of 29791. So I take the cube root, and I get on the dot 31. And what do I write in this space? 31. Okay. And if they must give marks, I think they will first that you there where you substitute there. And then when you make it a multiplication, and when you come to the final answer. But let's go to the report. So in the report, if we go and see what they say there, I think sometimes this is the kind of one where students will struggle. This question was poorly answered. Common answer was, okay, no, this is, it's 31. Okay, let's see if this was better answered. Okay. Yes, I thought it's poorly. The question was extremely poorly answered. Common answers was this. Candidates express the side and volumes as equivalent fractions and thus could not realize that the volume is to the power 3. Similar areas and similar volumes must be received more attention during teaching. Okay, and then you got the final answer of 31. All these videos refer to the y equals mx plus c textbooks, the number 1 mathematics textbook used in Namibian schools. For more information on these textbooks, visit the Straight Line Publishing website. All y equals mx plus c to success textbooks are available in the NEED catalogue of the Ministry of Education. Schools can order these using their yearly budget for textbooks, with the process typically starting mid-year. Make sure your learners have a copy of the y equals mx plus c mathematics textbook used by the top schools in Namibia in front of them in 2025. A final point. If you are in a position, I want to encourage you to buy your own personal copy of the Y equals mx plus c mathematics textbook. These textbooks are available at the following bookshops. Remember, success in mathematics comes from hard work, perseverance, and the courage to face challenges head on. Good luck with your final 2024 examination.